Hey, everybody, it's the Minister. You're listening to KPOT, an episode of Growing with the Minister. Well, it's January 15th, 2021, and approximately 9 days ago, on the 6th of January, as many people in the United States and around the world probably know, that a crowd of individuals, tens of thousands, I would say, marched on the Capitol in Washington, D.C., to the Capitol building, where approximately 1,000 or less broke in to the Capitol building while it was in session. And what that means is that people that were voted in to do their job and be protected by our government from enemies were making laws. In fact, what they were doing was counting the electoral votes and pretty much registering Joe Biden as president. Now, how we got to this narrative is super important, and I'll tell you why. Because for a period of time before the election, the President Donald Trump continuously warned, even without any evidence then, of a vote steal. He said the only way Joe Biden could win is if they stole the election. Now, of course, at that time, there was no evidence whatsoever of this. And the election went through. Joe Biden won not only the popular vote by quite a bit, but he also won the electoral votes, which makes sense. But because of that pre-psychological knowledge of an event possibly happening, caused Trump supporters and extreme right-wing media to believe it, even though there was no evidence of it whatsoever. Well, violence erupted because of this. People believed it. Now, here's the right-wing narrative, that some of the people that broke into the Capitol were Antifa. And I got to be honest with you, I have never met or heard of anyone from Antifa. Now, I have heard, and I've actually argued with individuals from Black Lives Matter on social media, who I must say they were very racist toward me because they presumed, I'm white, even though the conversation on my part never went toward racism. In fact, it was a video posted by Black Lives Matter members that stated every white person on Twitter should watch this. And I was like, why does every white person have to watch this? And instantly, I was labeled racist. It was a simple question. It had nothing to do with me being racist, but asking them why they made a racist statement. This is true. This is real. This happened. In the Me Too movement, I've actually publicly asked a question on their Twitter account with no response because I'm a man. So you understand I do not support these individuals, especially Antifa, because there's no such thing. Antifa really seems to be just a mindset for some individuals. But these people are so good at their job that they fool pretty much everybody except for the wing extremist. Now, how does that work, honestly? We are still hugely divided right now in our country, pretty much right down the middle. The only thing that's tipping the scales in the division is the independent voter. They call them the swing voters. These people will go back and forth between parties, electing who they think matches what they want. And that's who made the decision in this election, as that's who made the decision in the election before. Now, the question is, was there any evidence of voter fraud or the stealing of votes? 50 plus different court cases in front of all sorts of types of judges on both sides of the fence, Republican or Democrat, say no. Now, the right wing likes to say, oh, the huge conspiracy, the swamp, the coup. Well, actually, the coup would be the lesser or the unwon side to try to take over the one side. And I mean won by W-O-N. The side that won. The larger side. The approved side. That would be the coup. And it seems that the right wing side would be the coup. They would be the swamp. Because our republic, our democracy is based on majority vote or the greater vote. But the right wing might say, but it was stolen. But yet, there's no proof again of this. 50 plus court cases in front of even federal judges. And all of them were dismissed. This is real. So these people, whoever they are, law enforcement and intelligence agencies in our country say that they were Trump supporters. There is electronic facial recognition. Employers, wives have even called in to turn in these people that they knew and seen on the camera on their television set or computer. The biggest talk right now, I hear this a lot, is that they're going to take our guns. I'm sorry, but this is probably one of the most ridiculous arguments I've heard. Fear-mongering again. Kind of like them 200 indictments that are sealed, ready to be served on all these Democrats, such as the Clintons and the Obamas. This has been going on for like 4+ years, these indictments. Secret, sealed indictments. All these people are going to be arrested. Never happened. It never will happen because it's not real. It's not true. But what is it that these Trump supporters do not get? Why are they blinded? Well, because their leader told them that the media was a lie. Sure, there are some medias out there that do stretch truths and they are not accurate. But there are a lot of media outlets out there. So let's say there's a press conference at the White House, and so many media people are invited. So many. They're there. They see the same thing. They film the same thing. They record the same thing. And if you go from one media outlet to the other of the ones that were invited in there to record all this, the speeches given in the recording are the same. Most of the time, almost all the time, you can literally listen to the full speech and you get what you want out of it. Depending on, your whole view of the situation. Whose side you're on, basically, is what I'm saying. Being an independent voter, I will say to you, I have never voted for a Democrat or Republican. Because I do not trust either one of them. But at this point, because of this last president and his incompetency, what happened is basically, and I'm going to say it because of the amount of deaths in this country in such a short period of time, surpassing all other countries, I must say, even though we are not the largest country in the world, is the biggest reason why Trump lost the election. The independent voters said no. They will not stand for this. And the reason it was is because, when Trump got into the office, he fired the people that took care of these types of things. A pandemic response team, and he got rid of them. Claiming conservatism, I'm a conservative, we must get rid of this. Pretty much any type of standard set in or law set in to help people or the environment were put to the side or gotten rid of by Trump. Now, this is what happened, though. Because of it did kind of tip the scales in a couple things. And I'm not going to say that these are bad things. For instance, our energy production. We, for the first time in a very long time, were energy sufficient and really didn't have to get much from abroad for oil. Now, the reason that is because of deep shell drilling, natural gas stuff, fracking, you would call it. Now, there is a difference between the products that come from, like, the Middle East, their oil, and the gases that we get from fracking. And basically what that is their oil is heavier, where the natural gas that we get is a lighter type of substance. So we still have some need for that heavy oil that we get from overseas, but we have pretty much become somewhat sufficient enough to provide our own energy sources. But still, the fact is we do get some overseas, but they've been working on this since the 60s. This is something that just came about. What had happened, though, is because of the regulations that were set forth on some of these drilling for, gas or oil was set forth, and they, pretty much couldn't drill in certain places. Well, that was let loose because of Trump, and it tipped us, so we were able to get there. Okay, man, that's good. I don't mind it. But at what cost? Well, they can drill in national parks. Isn't there anywhere we can go in this country anymore where we don't have to say, well, this environment was destroyed because of money, because of oil, because of our addiction to oil? We went ahead, or our addiction to natural gas, whatever you want to call it, we went ahead and destroyed what little peace and evidence of nature there is. Basically, that's what's going on. We were okay with trading the nature that the earth and life has provided us for money and oil. I'm not into that. Some of you might be, but I'm not. Is that good enough for me to want to vote for Trump? No, no, it's not. Especially since there are over 300,000 deaths in less than a year before because of the COVID. Human lives are more important to me. Even though some of these humans may not be up to your standards or your liking, they're still more important to me and to a lot of other individuals in this country. It is appalling. But that's just the way life is. That's the way people are. There are some people that just don't give a shit about anything but themselves and their freedoms. Our Constitution. Oh, if you didn't have this, you wouldn't be able to do this. If you didn't have that, you wouldn't be able to do that. If there is something I wanted or needed, and the law said that I can't have it, I'm sure I'd break the law. Just like a lot of people would. But a lot of times I find these laws are unjust. They're there just to make revenue, to create a revenue, get people on their imperfections, and then fine them for it. So they can generate, again, money. It's based on money. How about the tax deductions? Well, they'll come to find out by 2021 what Trump has done with the tax code. It looked good for the first few years. But by 2021 it increases, and then the next thing you know, we are going to be $1.9 trillion in debt because of these tax codes. Yeah, it's going to be a huge burden upon us. Believe me. But what about what's going to happen to Trump after he's out of the White House? There are talks of criminal actions and counts of crimes that are going to be set forth for Trump. Tax evasion is going to be one of them. I'm pretty sure they're going to show his taxes. We're going to find out a lot that this individual has been laundering money, misappropriating money for a very long time. If it isn't evident already, most of the time when businesses fail, which he's got many, but the man had a casino that failed. Okay, how does a casino fail? You're mathematically already on the go to make money, but yet has failed. He's had so many of his properties and buildings taken over by banks that he owes a great deal of money to. There are rumors out there, and I'm sure they're going to turn to facts, that he owes money to other countries that he's not going to be able to pay back. Hundreds of millions. This man is going to be in a world of hurt. Now you know why he had lied and tried so hard to get people to fight for him to change the election. He is the only one that really tried to steal the election. I want to let you know something, though. That Mike Pence guy, great guy. Great guy. Wait, he stuck up for Trump, even though he knows Trump's guilty. He stuck up for Trump still, and still stayed on his head, and still said, I have your back, without breaking the law. Yeah, I really like that guy. He's definitely a great politician, a great leader. That would be somebody I would see making a good president. There might be some people disagree with me, but I don't care. I told you I'm independent. I really don't like either side, but I will call him as I see him. I like Mike Pence. Donald Trump has always been a liar. He's always been haughty. I remember in the 80s when he was still younger, walking around with Playboy bunnies on his arm and making sure he gets in the camera view and, just to boast himself But when I started to realize what kind of liar he really was, is when he started to bullhorn that whole conspiracy about Barack Obama being born in the United States. He pushed that. He pushed that a great deal. To where some people still don't know. Well, even though that's 4 years ago that man was in the office, in which he wasn't a horrible president. Was he the best? No. But he wasn't bad. He brought us up out of some pretty serious economic problems. And, Trump pretty much rode on that cycle and claimed it as his own. So, where do we go from here? What happens to America? Do you believe that these two sides are going to come together and be like, hey, let's get this behind us? No, it's not, because there are too many of these butthurt Trumpsters out there that continue to believe all these lies. That the election was still stolen, no matter there was no evidence whatsoever. All the judges, even the Republicans that have jumped side to vote on impeachment, even during the count, when they had the Republicans that were objecting to the counts of certain states, there was never one Democrat that jumped aside and said, yeah, I agree with the Republicans. But there were Republicans that jumped aside to say, yes, we agree with the Democrats. They went against their own side. That should just ring loud. But it doesn't to some of these people. Their butts hurt so bad that even Tux ain't taking away the pain. And it's too bad. It really is. Because we are a great country. And the reason that is because we established a point of wanting to be free from the beginning within our Constitution. But the Constitution can be worked on because things change. Our population has changed. The ideas of people have changed. Not everybody believes in the same morals sexually or about firearms than what they used to in the majority of the voters. Really, this is what this is based on. Sexuality and guns. Abortion is a big deal, but that also falls under the sexuality. Are we going to come together? Can we come together? Will or can these extremists on the right side come to a clear vision and a good grasp that the truth has been told and it isn't what they wanted to hear? Again, this is like a child who's been spoiled and then wants something. At this time, the parent is putting their foot down and saying, no, you shouldn't get that because it isn't good for you. And then they go into a fit in the middle of the store, kicking and screaming. And the parent has a choice. They can go on and ignore it, or they can grab that child and take them outside to their car and do what they have to show them that they are not the boss. I know. For the people, by the people. But what people? Which ones? The majority. That's how it goes. I see our Congress and our House making great decisions for this country, to be safe and continue to be economically wealthy, to form a more better union amongst ourselves, amongst the Republicans and Democrats. But we got to get over this. Otherwise, it won't happen. We will continue to walk in strife. There will continue to be this hatred on social media, this hatred of each other's neighbors, because one is Democrat and the other one is Republican. They set this up on purpose this way. But yet, it continues to remain in the balance. We continue to go forward. I'm telling you, the president, Trump, has offered me no more freedoms that I'd had before. Is gas less? Yeah, but it was headed that way already, which was awesome. But not that awesome. That'll allow almost 500,000 people by a year to be dead because of a virus that could have been handled better. It could have. There are no ifs, ands, and buts. If we had a pandemic response team, we would have had a vaccine in the works before it got out of hand. 6 months ago, we probably would have had a vaccine. But because of the neglect of the President of the United States, and I'm telling everyone and having a team ready to go on this, it is poor management. As his history has shown before, and his continuous failure of businesses shows that he has no mind for good management. Now, they consider themselves conservative, but yet the money that we're spending does not show that. Yeah, the Democrats can spend money also, but so the media is not to be believed. What do you believe then? Only the right-wing media? The ones that keep perpetuating the lie, reverberating it, regurgitating it. And I'll stop calling it a lie as soon as you can physically and evidentially prove that it is a lie. But that has not happened yet. Do you think that all these people out here would be able to provide actual evidence? All these people out there that say that this is a lie, you'd think at least one of them would provide some actual evidence, but no, not even a one. Not even a one. Some of these people that come forward and say they witnessed this and witnessed that, them also become lies. It's just unreal. It's ridiculous. And it's put our country in a weak point. Our enemies can come, and they are here, and they're help causing this, but they don't see that. They will say, the right side, that the Russians caused this, and they said that there were going to be make the black people disenfranchised when it comes to America and things like that. So you're saying that the Russians came here and said, yeah, you shouldn't have been slaves. That was a horrible thing for your ancestors to be slaves. And I know that's only 1 or 2 generations off. And, you've seen the pain that it caused. And but we put that into your head. That's how good we are. If they were that good, how come they haven't taken over our country completely then? Because that's not true. These people feel this way because it's real. That's real stuff that happened. And they're mad. I don't know what else to say. But if that isn't evident or clear enough for an individual, then I believe that their heart condition, their spiritual heart condition, is in a bad place. They're more relying on physical life than they are the future, or the spirit of the future. Their children, their grandchildren. But when you have individuals out there such as Alex Jones, which I'm going to say some things that Alex Jones says has come true. He was right on a lot of things. That's why people still listen to him. But there are a lot of things I don't think he's right on. So basically what I'm saying is prove to yourself with evidence, physical evidence, not hearsay, but with physical evidence that this election was actually stolen. And that we should somehow seriously be angry in this country. But why would I be angry? Because I am the same in the point of freedom right now than I was 4 years ago, in accordance to what the federal government has control over. Now, depending on the state I go to, that's different. In the state of Colorado, I was given more freedom to do certain things than I was in the state I am now. That's absolutely true. But in accordance to the federal government, no. In fact, I am still at all at some of the things that they do when it comes to laws and economics. Yeah, there's no reason why a country our size and with our money don't have more democratic socialist programs. Yeah, I mean, we have them already. You know, I really love these people who say, we're going to be socialist here, socialist, communist. And it's like crazy, dude. Crazy. Because none of that shit is evident. Yeah, I'm laughing at it. None of that's evident about communism. We do have a democratic socialism already. And this is truth. We have taxes that go toward building roads that you can drive on. So if you don't like that, then don't drive on them. We have taxes that pay for firemen in the police departments. So, you know, if your house is on fire and you don't believe in socialism, please don't call the fire department. All right, put that shit out your fucking self. If someone's robbing your house, do not be calling the fucking police because you do not believe in socialism or socialist programs, all right? Quit giving your money to Social Security. Keep it yourself because you do not believe in socialist programs. So why should you be able to take advantage of them? There are other programs out there that are socialist programs also. So these people are not intelligent. In fact, some of these people I know collect off these socialist programs, but yet deny socialism. That's called hypocrisy, plain and simple. Now, I do not agree with our government in electives making as much money as they do. And I do not. I'm sorry. If you want to cut some budgets, that's where you cut them right there. The amount these people make. The president, representatives, congressmen, senators, whatever. These people should not be making over $100,000 a year. And if they're making that much, how come other people aren't making better money so they can live better or live at least as good as them, right? Look at their health care, what they get. Why should they get better health care than the people that vote them in? Seriously. Why should the people that vote them in have to pay for better health care for these people? That's another thing Trump was talking all them years, 4 years, about how he was going to come up with a new, insurance or health insurance type of program for the Americans because the Obamacare is such a horrible thing. And it's not called the Obamacare. It's American Care Act or something. I can't even remember now. ACA, I think. Whatever. But the point I'm making is he never got it done, promised. The wall, Never got it done. Who paid for it? The taxpayers. And it wasn't even finished. The COVID, the continuous lying, the fact that the man has 25 different women that have come forth and said he has either sexually harassed them or raped them. 2 of them are still in a court session. This is real stuff. You can look these up. This is public information, fools. Yeah. For you people out there that are right-wing instead, that don't believe what I'm saying. But I'm not going to show it to you. You're already lazy enough. That's why you believe these lies. There is racism in this. I believe that full-heartedly. Trump said in the beginning of his presidency, look, my African American, as though he owned him. Who would say that? Was he going to say what? The N-word? I bet he was too, but he stopped himself and used African American as though it wasn't as belittling. It's terrible. These are terrible people. And I'm sorry they can't see it, because in our country we'd be better off. Will we be better off if we seen it his way? No, there'd be a tons load of more people dying. His COVID disbursement for the vaccine, they're talking like 10 years before some people get vaccinated. Well, now if that is true or not, but the rate we're going, that's how they're seeing it. Our country is in a little bit of a hurting right now, and we need to overcome this. We need to unite and become united, but how? How are we going to get the left and the right to come together and work in unison? Like Bruce Lee when he does his nunchucks, two-handed. Now each hand ain't doing the same thing all the time, but yet it works. He makes it work. We can do the same thing. We can make this work. We need to make it work. Otherwise, our country will fall. So I'm asking for all of us to come together and find unity. Find a point of unity and stick with it and make it work. Heck, guys, I've got family members that don't even like me because I don't share their same point of view of Trump. Literally. Family members literally calling me names, messaging me. It's disgusting. What would bring you to that hate? To hate your own family members? That's pretty bad. So I've said my word about this. Who am I? An intelligent American? Thank you. Really. Thank you for checking in on Growing with the Minister. Hey, and thank you for checking out KB Publishing and KPOT, the nation's stoner station with the highest and the sexiest sounds. Peace out, people.